Hi everyone, what a match we had yesterday between RCB and Delhi Capitals. Whenever two equally matched teams come face to face, we are most likely to have matches of this kind. Absolute thriller, one run victory for RCB at the end. The match was played at Ahmedabad. There was no real dew in the second half, and that helped the RCB bowlers. RCB batted first. In fact, Delhi won the toss and put RCB in, and uh, sorry, Virat and Padikkal opened as usual, but then they had a very unsteady, very poor power play because Virat got out. He played on to Avesh Khan, who was very impressive, and the depth that Padikkal got a gem of a delivery from Ishant. The gem of a delivery. The ball was angling in, pitched and straightened and took the gap between the bat and pad and rattled the stumps. It was a beautiful delivery, and Padikkal, who was smashing everything in the previous matches, was out for just 17, and that was a big blow for RCB because after that it took a lot of time for RCB to really get into the momentum because Maxwell and Patitar was just playing to stabilize the innings. Rajat Patitar at 3. Again, he has been retained back at 3, and this time he played a very good knock. I mean, a very decent innings of 31 odd runs. Maxwell was beginning to explode against Amit Mishra when Amit Mishra got him out to a delivery which Maxwell went to hit out of the park and got caught by Steve Smith at long leg. So that was it, and at that stage it looked as if RCB are struggling and they might get around 150, 160 to the max. But AB de Villiers was there, and when AB de Villiers is there, then you can expect the unexpected. I mean, he is a brilliant batsman. After Maxwell got out, Patitar was still there. He was having a partnership with AB, and AB was slowly shifting gears. He was just getting himself in, but the changes came in the last couple 2-3 overs of the RCB innings when AB went all out. He hit Akshar Patel for long sixes. He hit the spinners. He stepped out. He used his feet beautifully against the spinners. And then when Rabada came, audacious pull shot over mid wicket. Wow, what a shot was that! It was the best shot of the match. Audacious pull shot over mid wicket against his compatriot, fast bowler of South Africa, for 6 runs. So AB de Villiers got 75 of 40 odd balls, and that innings totally changed the match, got the momentum in RCB's favour. RCB got 171 at one stage. It looked they will finish at around 150, 160, but the last over of Marcus Stoinis went for 23. Here I must say that Rishabh Pant is at times making small errors in calculations. Amit Mishra was made to bowl only 3 overs, and Marcus Stoinis had to be brought in at the last stage. But here Rishabh Pant needs to be more correct in his calculations of overs of his bowlers. He needs to be a lot more aware. He needs to be made aware of his other senior teammates. So Marcus Stoinis was supposed to be the weakest link in the bowling, and AB de Villiers took full advantage of that. I think that particular over turned the match around. Delhi, when they batted, they struggled again in power play. Though Prithvi Shaw looked good, Shikhar Dhawan this time got out early. Steve Smith started off with a good pull shot, but then soon was dismissed by a beautiful away-going delivery from Siraj, caught behind. It was a very fine delivery, and Siraj, you don't go by his figures, you go by his impact that he's creating. He's getting breakthroughs at the start. He's bowling some very good overs at the death. I think this Australian series down under has transformed him as a fast bowler. I think he's one of the main Indian names to be written when you sit down and prepare an Indian 11. I think Mohammad Siraj has really come a long way since the Australian series. Well, after Steve Smith's dismissal, it was 3 down. Prithvi Shaw went out. Then it was 3 down when Prithvi Shaw was dismissed for 21. He's chased an outgoing delivery from Harshal Patel, and from there the match totally changed in favour of RCB. But then Rishabh Pant came in. He was struggling to find his flow, his stroke play, find his rhythm. He was not getting into that rhythm. The wicket was a bit on the slower side, I felt, and it was only when Stephen Hetmyer came after the fall of Marcus Stoinis' wicket. Stoinis scored 22 of 17 balls, and Stoinis so far hasn't really delivered in that sense. I mean, he to be fair to him, he didn't get too many batting opportunities in Delhi's innings so far in this tournament, but his bowling hasn't looked very good, hasn't looked really great. So overall, Stoinis has been one of the hasn't really fired in this IPL, and so there could be a case of bringing in Chris Oakes, who is a very decent batsman and a much better bowler than Stoinis, of course. So I think Chris Oakes, I think Delhi captains can think about bringing in Chris Oakes for Stoinis, but more of that later. As then when Hetmyer came in, he started to blast the bowling. It was from brutal stroke plays, 4 sixes, some long sixes of the spinners. He was really looking dangerous. And again, over against Jamieson, he looked in absolutely. He totally decimated Jamieson with around, I think, 20 runs in that over, and that totally changed the momentum in favor of Delhi. And Delhi were left to get 25 runs of just 2 overs, which was pretty much possible with Pant and Hetmyer in the crease. It was a match. It was a match to be lost for Delhi. I mean, it was in such a situation, RCB totally lost it after Hetmyer came in and played that blinder. But Harshal Patel bowled a very good 19th over. He gave only 11 runs, and that made and also in the last 2 overs, Hetmyer didn't get too many strike. It was Pant who was getting most of the strike, because Hetmyer was the one who was hitting the ball more cleanly, was hitting the ball, he was more in rhythm, but he didn't get much strike in the last 2 overs, unfortunately for Delhi. Pant got the strike. It's not that Pant can't hit, but Pant was struggling yesterday to get the ball off into the stand. So when CSK came in to bowl the last over, it was 14 runs required. First 4 balls, there were hardly any runs given away, and Pant went somehow through the kitchen sink and got a 4 of the 5th ball, and there was only 6 required of the last ball, but he could only manage a boundary, and Delhi lost by 1 run. You can see the faces, the disappointment on the faces of Pant and Hetmyer after the match. It was a great match. It was a magnificent match, and I think RCB were deservingly won the match, but I think Delhi also could have won it after Hetmyer came and played that blinder. They were very much back in the game. Well, that was it. Delhi slips to 3rd spot in the points table. RCB again moves to the top spot, and RCB, few changes in the RCB in this year has really proved very beneficial from them. One is Maxwell batting at 4 and AB de Villiers batting at 5, which means the second half of the batting is getting a lot of support. And secondly, the bowling of Harshal Patel, and also Siraj, I would say, because Siraj has been giving the breakthroughs, and Harshal Patel has been brilliant in the middle overs, in the death. He has been the mainstay bowler for RCB in this season. So RCB, due to their better bowling attack, they are doing very well so far, and they look one of the teams to beat in this IPL. Not often that we may say that, we can say that, but this time we're looking that way. RCB is really looking good. So just a quick review of today's match between Chennai and Sunrisers Hyderabad. We all know Chennai are the favourites. Their batting is looking very good. Their bowling has been a lot of variety. They will be playing at Delhi, which traditionally has shown a little bit of tilt towards the spinners. So that will help Chennai, I guess. Delhi pitches traditionally has done well. I don't know how will the pitch behave this time round, but Delhi pitches have traditionally been pretty slow, so that might help Chennai. As well as for Sunrisers bowlers. Sunrisers, both the teams have got similar type of bowling attacks, which thrives on slowish pitches. And so Sunrisers, the main problem with Sunrisers is their middle order batting. I think they will bring in Manish Pandey in this match. They will retain back Manish Pandey, and probably Ken Williamson playing at 3 and Manish Pandey at 4 will give a much better, stronger look to their middle order batting. And I think their middle order players nearly need to fire now. I mean, it's a high time, because now Sunrisers need to start winning matches. They need to win 80% or maybe even 90% of their matches to qualify for the playoffs now. They have already messed up their IPL this year's campaign by losing, I think, 5 of the 6 matches. So this is the time Sunrisers will start winning, and no joke to really beat Chennai. Rampant Chennai is in great flow. So it will be a very interesting match. I think the team which bats first will get an advantage, Delhi, though the boundaries are smaller. But I think Sunrisers, if they win the toss, they must bat first, because that's the way. I think they have always been a batting first side. I have always repeatedly told this in my earlier videos. So that's it. Let's see. I mean, Chennai are definitely the favorites. Please like and subscribe my channel and give comments. Thank you so much.